flip through.
Well, I just skipped to the middle. Wait, no, that's a test. No, don't look at that. Wait,
Oscar
yeah,
Sphinx.
no. But I also want to look at frog. Duck.
Duck, beautiful.
It's wobbly. And then
Hands are pulled.
back to this page again, and then whatever this was,
Nice, nice.
and then the flow.
Nice. Nice.
And that's all I've got so far.
this app. I've been doing some little experiments beforehand, but this is the proper one. I used a reference from the Instagram Still Here, Still Alive. Yeah, they post a photo like every week or every 2 weeks. Here it is. And they want you to use it as a reference to do your artwork, and you can do whatever you want, and people submit their stuff, which is cool. So I just used that. I did the layers on Procreate first. So I did the sketch. And you can see I've got several versions, because as I finished it and then took it into mental canvas, I realized that like when I had these gaps that it would show up when you moved the canvas around. I made it into 3 basic layers. So the table, and then the main dishes, and you can see the gaps where the actual like the top of, I wanted like the food that was the closest to you to kind of be the stuff that moves around when you move the canvas around. So as you can see the spring onions moving around and the mushrooms and stuff. It's not amazing, but it was just some experimentation. You can also make a little timeline thing here, so you can play it. So as you can see, I made it so that some of the parts kind of stuck out. So like the stems of the mushrooms and these mushrooms, like I kind of made it into like a concave, or no, like a tent. Wait, I can't navigate. You can kind of see I made the top layer into a tent, so you couldn't see the bottom so much when you moved around. It was just really small, just small details like that, but it was a nice experiment. I like how it turned out. Next, I want to experiment with like what I could actually do with a comic, like in this program, because I've been getting inspiration from like the research that I've been doing. So this is something that the mental canvas like group themselves had an artist make, and they showcased it. So it was a kind of like a moving comic. And then I was looking at what other artists were making, and I really like this one where it's like a comic page, but obviously with all the different layers, you can move it around and get different perspectives. So I really like that idea. Then there was this. I really like the way that they used the window and the panels. That's just them showing it now. And then this is like another kind of graphic novel that they made, but obviously using all the different layers. And I just really like the way that this app lets you make 3D spaces really easily. So I really want to try and do this next, or something like this. Just experiment and see what exactly I can do. Because I do really like the interactivity of it and the way that you can like hide things, and then by looking around you can find those things. So yeah, next I want to try and do something like that. Here is what I came up with. It was just a quick sketch, I haven't coloured it in or anything. But here I'm just showing you how it works and all the different layers I managed to make. I like how you can like go into the panels as if you're going into the world. This drawing was kind of weird because the night before I made it, I actually had a dream that I was making it. So like I had the inspiration to make it from the dream, like the whole composition and location. So that was weird. But anyway, so yeah, you can see that I was able to make rooms like behind walls, and then like the corridor and the passageway going out to another tower. I really liked the way that I was able to it was kind of like an animation or like an animatic. The problem is I'm not sure where to go from this point, because in my learning agreement, like I decided not to add animation to my panels as I was originally going to do. But this is kind of bordering onto animation, so I'm not sure whether I should carry on experimenting with mental canvas or not. I think I'm going to book a tutorial to talk to one of my tutors and see how it goes. It's the end of the week, and I did go to a tutorial in the end, and I won't say the tutor's name, but they helped me out a lot and they really liked my idea and what I showed them. So I'm going to carry on using mental canvas and just seeing what I can do with it and how I can make my comic interesting. So that's good. I can carry on working now, because I was a bit stuck. Alongside the main project, I'm doing a little collaborative project with Rosemary, who's in my class as well. Hello Rosemary, I know you're watching this. So this was us just planning out what our collaborative animation might look like, and planning out the deadlines that we're just gonna set ourselves. And then we had a guest lecture, which was actually really helpful because one of the pieces that they showed at the beginning, this piece, it was very similar to what we were thinking of doing for the collaborative project anyway, so we quickly noted it down and I recorded it. We really liked the way that the characters were like moving through the house. It was similar to what we were thinking of doing, so this is some nice inspiration.
In the process of making, and there's like this language I think that you speak with in contact with your whatever your medium is. At least that's what I experienced, where you get back a lot that you cannot control. Even in the digital medium, I try to use techniques that somehow throw me a curveball and give me something back that I didn't realize I would be working with in the end. And that's how these images come into being. Like they happen somehow. Like it's very little control and very little like precision in it. It's like a very touchy-feely kind of process, the way that I work. Yeah, and I think this is a couple of meetings we had on Zoom. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. If I'm doing something shitty, you have to tell me because I really am.
So this is the end of week 4. By the end of the week, I was struggling a little bit, so I wasn't able to do as much as I wanted to, but I'm going to try and catch up a bit next week. Though next week, it'll be a bit more, let's say, boring work, because I'll be writing the essay, because we have a deadline for that on Friday. So we'll see how it goes.